Boom. Hello. My name is Evan Clausen. I am from St. Thomas, Ontario, which sits on the traditional territory of the Adirondack, Mississauga, and Anishinaabe peoples. My family is historically Mennonite in culture, with my great-grandparents immigrating from Eastern Europe down to Mexico, actually, and my grandparents being raised in both Mexico and Ontario throughout their lives, depending on where the best work was, eventually settling in Elmer, Ontario, not too far from St. Thomas. A bit about me. Before beginning Teachers College, I graduated from University of Waterloo with a degree in chemistry, and I actually worked as a lab technician for around a year in between schools. It was at an agricultural lab in London, actually, which it was a lot of fun. A lot of learning about farming and everything that goes into that. In my free time, I enjoy watching football. Big Lions fan. Solving puzzles like Sudoku and like daily Wordles, and I've been really into reading in the past few years. I read 20 books last year, so we're trying to keep that up this year. My pedagogy involves a lot of creativity and student relationships. Something I realized very early is that when I'm not enjoying myself at the front of the classroom, it rubs off on not only the quality of the lesson, but student engagement as well. So I aim to be as creative and engaging as I can, so that I can put on the best performance I can for my students within reason. So like creative ideas, like I've done a lot of game shows. I've put on Jeopardy a few times, Wheel of Fortune, and an edited version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That was a lot of fun. Or original activities like what I call Math Monster, which is like an imaginative take on like a math review in practice, in which students like fight this like imaginary creature by solving math problems. So I set the scene, tell them what the creature is, describe how they're going to fight it, and then they solve the math problems, and they get to describe what happens in the encounter to me, which I found really helps with student engagement. There's build classroom management into it, and it was just a lot of fun, making math a lot more fun for students. But student relationships is really the foundation of that, though. Like that activity wouldn't have worked if I didn't have good relationships with the students and knew they would take to it well. So whether it's things like talking to students at the beginning of the day, how was your weekend? What are you looking forward to this week? Or even spending the first 5 minutes of your lunch break, just chatting, walking around, seeing what they're into. This allows you to build productive working relationships with students, and helps me understand how they learn, what they need from me. As well as it aids in classroom management through knowledge of like how they work, what kind of things intrigue them, what might be causing any issues. My current knowledge about Indigenous worldviews is very limited. Like I don't recall much from school learning about Indigenous ways of knowing. I think the only issues I'm aware of are like the big headline topics like residential schools when that came out a good few years ago. And even then, I don't know a ton about it. I know like the general facts about what happened, but I don't know a lot of the specifics. So in that way, I feel really ill-equipped and apprehensive about teaching about Indigenous ways of knowing, but also very curious about their ways of living, traditions, daily lives. Because as far as I know, Canada hasn't been really nice. Haven't treated Indigenous folks very, very well over the years, but it's on us to educate ourselves and attempt to understand their way of knowing better, interact with them, and so we can better interact with them and empathize with them in the future. A couple questions I have. So I'd really like to learn more about like environmental stewardship and how Indigenous ways of knowing contribute to that. What core values guide their knowledge systems? Like where do their knowledge systems like stem from? Like what's the origin? And then how can schools and me as an educator like respectfully include Indigenous ways of knowing without appropriation? And yeah, that is me. Thank you. Goodbye.